Yeah! What's up, everybody? It's your favorite orphan's favorite nerd, and today we are looking at the SH Figuarts Justice League Batman. Not their best release. Let's just get that out of the way. After we have that out of the way, we can start looking at accessories, and then we can get through this review. And we'll start with hands per usual. 2 relaxed hands or posing hands or, wait, don't do that, hands. 2 trigger finger hands, because this is the murderous maniac Batman. I'm kidding. We'll talk about why in a second. And then 2 other different type of gripping hands, which we'll also talk about here in a minute. So he has his grappling hook, and you can take this piece out and plug this piece in, which I think is a much more dynamic kind of look. Boy, this is not my day for dainty things. And then you have this bit there locked in. You have the silver paint there, silver paint on the bottom, the brown handle. Looks good, decent sculpt. And then you also get a Batarang just with a silver paint finish, once again with a decent sculpt. And he holds those just fine. Even the Batarang he holds pretty firmly. I mean, you can knock it out, but it's not bad. Let's talk about the figure. What struck me first and foremost about this guy is just all this gray plastic and how the proportions seem weird. Like his torso seems short. Now, shout out to Eddie. Eddie told me to abort on this mission. He said he got his, but I'd already shipped mine by then, so it was of no help to me, Eddie. But yeah, it's just the proportions seem weird. Like the top of his body seems stunted. It seems like there should be more length there, I feel like. It's also not the head sculpt is fine. The paint, like they use like the dot matrix paint for the lower half of the lips and maybe for the eyes. I can't really tell, but it's not great. And it kind of looks like he has like foundation on. It's just not great. The gray is another issue. Like the sculpt isn't really defined. It's fine, but it's not like, it's not just super well defined. And then the shoulders look a little wonky. There's just a lot wrong here, just out of the box. The head is on a double ball peg, and then the neck is on a single, or yeah, single into the chest. So the articulation is fair to good, so no real issues there. We do have a butterfly joint, which is quite nice. Haven't seen that in a while, but it's not the prettiest. And then we have a ball joint inside the chest coming out to a ball hinge, so you get the arm all the way up to there. Really far across his chest. And then the swivel. No bicep swivel. You do get a slight shoulder swivel, and that's it. Oof, not the best. Double jointed elbow, get you just 90 degrees. No, we have some shading on the gray throughout, but it doesn't look great. It just looks like it's like sandblasted with like a darker gray or a black, like a black airbrush. It's not really well done. And then for the forearm, you have this gold or copper-esque gauntlet. That's painted well. It's a metallic paint. It's the same paint that's on the knuckles. Typical ball hinge knuckle, so we get the tilt up, tilt down, and the swivel, and then you can manipulate the hinge to get the inside and out hinge. Double ball peg from the chest into the, at least it might be a single. Nah, I don't. It might be a double in the lower part this time. Either way, using both, you can get them all the way over to there. Not far forward. Fairly far back, but that cut joint is not the best. It's just very strange. Not what I expect from this company at all. Drop down T-jointed ball joint, so you can bring them down and get the leg all the way up and get it pretty much all the way out to the side. So that's nice. Thigh swivel around that, so that's nice. Double jointed knee, so that's nice. And then the boots are all painted black here. The ankles are on probably double ball pegs, yes. So you get an ankle tilt down, up, toe hinge with that same copper paint at the tip, and then a pretty good rocker out of it, to be honest. And then you get the same copper stuff for the belt, which is glued on, it looks like. Yes, to the pelvis, which is kind of a floating piece, but stays together well. It's just, this thing has a lot of issues. Let's talk about the cape. The cape is a soft goods. The soft goods is a nice quality. You have wire frames at the ends, but they're, once again, they're like loose up here, so you can't really get the cape to hold out well to the side. You kind of have to do like a blowing in the wind kind of thing. Ooh, even that's not really working, is it? So it's just pretty much a wash in terms of posing the cape. From the back, it looks significantly better than it does from the front. So this is probably the weakest SH Figuarts release that I have dealt with personally, and I regret it. I regret it a lot, and I wish I would have gone Mafex, which is just scary to hear.
I don't think it's scary. You know what I think is scary? That a parent came in my room and interrupted me doing my homework for Skip.
Now, the one thing Eddie said that I'm not sure I agree with 100% is that he was a bit short. And I think if his torso was a bit longer and it fixed the proportions of it, that would be fine. But he's not that short. I mean, he's a half a head taller than Joker and a good bit taller than Harley. So, like, I think I'm ultimately okay with the size more than I am with the proportions here. There he is with the BVS Batman, and even the BVS Batman looks better. It just does. Like this, the way that they approach the suit is just a better approach. Real shame. Now, final thoughts wise, it's not like you're not going to be able to get this guy in some cool poses and kind of displayed well if you've already bought him. You know, you can work with this. It's just not up to the caliber that I expect from Figuarts. I don't like the approach. The sculpt is very dull in the suit. The cuts for the engineering of the figure between the chest and the abdomen, as well as the shoulders, aren't the cleanest. The face application in terms of approach, like the way that the paint is kind of glossy on the face. Like, look at that gleam right there on his lip. That's not the best. I don't know why they'd put wire in the cape if the wire isn't going to go through to the top of the cape. It's useless. All you can do is cover other parts of the figure that you don't want exposed, and that's the issues here. Unfortunately, the best thing about this guy is the material of the cape. It's a great material, and I like the pleats in it. It looks good. The copper paint, the metallic paint that's applied looks fantastic, and the sculpt of the head is great. And the joints, of course, are toleranced well, as you kind of have expected from Figuarts. But yeah, it is a really, really weak release. Really weak. I can't recommend it. Sorry for the short video. I just got a lot going on, and this is my third one I'm shooting today. This one goes up Friday, and I got Monday and Wednesdays next week done. So, busy day, tons going on. I hope I gave you enough information about this guy to ultimately explain why I don't recommend him. Like I said, if you've already bought him like I did, like I'm going to be able to get him in a pose and get him on. I think I'm going to take him up in my office and just have a figure. I like having a few figures in my office just to kind of mess around with. But this definitely isn't the 1/12 scale Batman that you want on your Justice League shelf. That pretty much explains it. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.